And just like that, the golden generation for Belgium, the golden era, comes to an end with an absolute whimper. And the Lukaku allegations will be heard in front of the court and he shall be judged appropriately. The question being, was he wearing Levi jeans and Timbs on the pitch? Just jeans, just Timbs. We'll see. Hey there, I'm Adrian and welcome to Rabona TV's World Cup recap. If you're new here, then be sure to subscribe for more videos daily. Another daily upload out tomorrow, followed by a round of 16 preview of every single matchup. So subscribe, turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss that. Sound good? Thanks for joining me and let's get into Group F. May the court proceedings begin. Canada took on group-winning aspirants Morocco, and it was a comedy of errors from the start for Canada, with Milan Borjan doing God knows what with the ball, taking a first touch as if his leg was made of concrete or mahogany or some other rock-solid material. Brutal from Borjan, a man that I love, but that was bad. Ziyech with the empty goal to shoot at. Like I said, a comedy of errors from Canada. About 20 minutes later, Morocco struck once again with a long ball forward for Youssef En-Nesyri to run onto, and he smashed it past Borjan at the near post. Great ball from Hakimi for that goal, as Morocco were the out-and-out leaders of Group F at that point and absolutely looked great value for it, didn't they? Took many by surprise, including myself. Canada did indeed pull one back. A lot of fortune involved as Adekugbe did well down the left to beat his man, but his ball into the box was guided past Bono by his own defender. One silly goal for another, and Morocco did get a third, but it was called back for offside. It was a poor effort from Canada, and what was disappointing was how different Herdman set the team up in this World Cup versus how they played in qualifying. I get it, he didn't want to play scared and he wanted to play attacking football, but you have to look at your opponent and consider what worked well for you in the past and how it could work well for you against much more talented opposition like at the World Cup. You have to be self-aware. By the way, I do not think Herdman needs to go. The inverse is true. He has got to stay. But he made mistakes against Croatia and in that first half against Morocco. And it's okay to acknowledge that. He still has had way more hits with Canada than he has had misses, and that is for sure. The fact that Canada even qualified in first in CONCACAF despite being the third most talented squad is a big achievement, but some better tactics against much better opposition could have gone a long way. Anyway, in the second half, Canada improved, for me, thanks in no small part to Kone coming on. The guy has to be a starter for Canada, as well as Hutchinson coming on. And they came close to equalizing. Atiba himself with a header that went off of the bar and bounced straight down off of the line. About as close as you can get to scoring without actually doing so. As close as the ball can be to going across the line without actually doing so. Well, not quite. There was still half of a ball to get over the line. But still, very close. As the half rolled on, Canada was the better team, but Morocco were also sitting back and protecting their lead, knowing that a draw could potentially complicate things for them. But despite tons of Canadian pressure, in the second half, Morocco were able to hang on to the 2-1 scoreline to ensure that they would indeed be going through. With all of the infighting going on in the Belgian camp, Roberto Martinez made 4 changes to their starting 11, and I very much agreed with them. The unfortunate downfall of Eden Hazard continues as he was benched in favor of Leandro Trossard, and rightfully so. The Brighton man has been incredible this season, while Hazard has been invisible. He barely gets playing time at Real Madrid, and that showed at this World Cup. Dries Mertens also got the start, and Belgium looked a lot better with all of the changes that were made. More energy, a bit more bite in the attack, and Mertens had a half chance that he put over the bar in that first half. They hustled that Croatian backline a lot more than they had against Morocco and Canada. But Croatia won a penalty from nothing. The challenge for the penalty was correct, in my opinion, but the offside is yet another one that makes me want to kill the nearest computer. I mean, look at this. This is why the penalty was cancelled. What a massive advantage the attacker had over the defender, no? And yes, go ahead people in the comments saying offside is offside, blah, blah, blah. We all know that. But you have to question if this is an anti-football decision, if this is really improving the game or just robbing moments from people and players with these stupid offside calls, where I can't even see the advantage. Like, really, we're comparing the edge of a shoulder to the top of a bicep. Nobody could see that's offside with the naked eye. It's ridiculous. Anyone who defends this as a good progression for the game, you hate the game. By the way, without context, can you identify which player is the player in question for offside? Good luck. If I just showed you this image, you wouldn't be able to tell. And don't use the, well, if this was against your team in an important game, you would defend it narrative, because my brother, anyone who looks at this with the naked eye would agree that it's onside or level. It's only when you take it to the lab, blow up the image, pull out the measuring tape, classify definitively where the shoulder ends and the bicep begins, apply that rule to both players involved, and then see what the outcome is. That's the only way that you can say that this is offside. It's egregious. If the entirety of a player's shoulder is ahead, sure, call it. I still am a believer you should draw the lines at the feet. But hey, if we're doing shoulders, then fine. I can live with an entire shoulder being ahead. But when the edge of a shoulder aligns with where the bicep and the shoulder meet with the other player, I mean, miss me with that. It's taking the sport backwards. They've had to make a lot of changes to the handball rule, and now they need to make changes to the offside rule to make it reasonable with the new insane precision that they have. It needs to evolve as the game has evolved with VAR. Anyway, Lukaku came on in the second half for Belgium, and he got the half started with two insane misses. One with the goal at his mercy as he smashed it off the post, and two, a little bit later, the ball came to him on his head and he put it over. The second one was a little bit more difficult, as I don't think he would have expected the ball to come to him, but it wasn't a good look where, again, the goal is at his mercy, and you should expect that as a striker in the box. A similar but different situation later when Thomas Meunier played the ball to him aggressively and Lukaku couldn't just guide it towards goal and it went wide again. Wouldn't you know it, Lukaku would have yet another chance when Thorgan Hazard chipped one to the back post for him and it hit Lukaku in the chest and fell to Livakovic. It was just chance after chance for Lukaku. At least 3 bona fide good chances, and he blew it every single time. All they needed was a goal, and they would be through. Another one shortly after, and Gvardiol just beat Lukaku to the ball in the 6-yard box. It was never ending for him. 3 out of 4 chances had to be goals, man. The Meunier chance being the only exception for me if you are a professional footballer that plays at the elite level in Italy and formerly in England, which Lukaku has done. So he should be finishing at least one of those, at least one. And because of that, Belgium have been eliminated at the group stage, and the golden generation is finished now, thanks to all of those Lukaku misses. Well, I mean, not sorely down to Lukaku's misses, of course, but he absolutely played a big role. Batshuayi, Origi, my 92-year-old grandmother, all 3 of them would have finished at least one of those chances. Look at this. Look at the expected goals here. Belgium with an XG of 3.29. 0 goals to speak of, my word. So coupled with Morocco's narrow win, Morocco tops the group with Croatia in second and Belgium in third. Canada with a big donut, but the 2022 World Cup was always a bonus for this young and evolving Canadian football program. 2026 has always been the target, and with more and more players moving to Europe, they should be stronger then. Belgium, we'll see where they're at for the next World Cup. And Morocco, they're looking nice in general. Germany faced Costa Rica, the team that lost to Spain by a massive margin only to go ahead and beat Japan. Germany, they've underperformed, haven't they? In 2022, they have not looked as powerful as they should, given the talent they boast. Most teams in the world would kill to have the players that Germany does, but like Jogi Löw before him, Hansi Flick has been incapable of getting them to play to their full potential consistently. It's no shade on Flick or a judgment on him as a manager, it's just a fact thus far. This happens. Now, in spite of all that, Germany were largely dominant for most of the first half against Costa Rica, with Mr. Sauce himself, Serge Gnabry, scoring a picture-perfect glancing header that beat Keylor Navas. And there were other opportunities as well. Sané, Musiala, Muller had one as well. Right before halftime, Costa Rica had a chance to equalize when both Raum and Antonio Rudiger showed off just, what not to do in defense. Both making mistakes as the ball fell kindly to Fuller, the hero from the Japan match, but Manuel Neuer made the save. And wouldn't you know it, 1 minute later, Sula was caught sleeping, and his mistake nearly led to another opportunity for Costa Rica. Looking good going forward, but as I've been saying all tournament, Germany are light in defense. And wouldn't you know it, those chances at the end of the half would provide a warning sign for Germany's backline as 13 minutes into the second half, a sweeping Costa Rica attack saw a brilliant cutback get headed goalward from Campbell, saved by Neuer, and Yeltsin Tejeda converted the rebound. This was not what anyone would have expected from this Costa Rican team. Find me one person who predicted how this group turned out. My goodness, what a time to score your first international goal for your country. What a story for Tejeda. And what bad luck for Jamal Musiala in this match, who hit the post twice in the second half alone. At that point, Germany had hit the post 3 times. Oh my God, Costa Rica scored again. 2-1 Costa Rica from the most scrambled free kick. Vargas with the goal to turn the group on its head. But of course, the story didn't end there, and Havertz finally decided to show up and ruin the party for everyone else in a sense. After stinking it up all over the place this season, Havertz latched onto the ball and scuffed his shot straight into the ground, but it was good enough to bounce over Navas and in. It was Ozil style. 2-2, the group reshuffled again and again, and hey, I slated him. Now we compliment him. Havertz scored again for Germany as he ghosted in at the back post, the Costa Rican defender sleeping a bit, and the Chelsea striker was there to tuck it in cleanly and give his country hope, at least. A big shout out to Keylor Navas in all of this, by the way. The saves he made on Füllkrug, Havertz, Musiala in this game, ridiculous. He's still such an incredible shot stopper. Need to save him from PSG ASAP. Come to Benfica, please. But to Germany's credit, after their collapse against Costa Rica, they went ahead 4-2 with a goal from Niklas Füllkrug. Not that Germany were in control of their own destiny or anything at this point. They needed Spain to score to tie it up with Japan in order for Germany to advance. Speaking of Japan and Spain, Japan who beat Germany and then lost to Costa Rica, Spain who destroyed Costa Rica, then drew with Germany. This group was crazy, and it was Spain who were the dominant side early in this game. In fact, for much of this game, really. Where Gnabry scored for Germany from a nice header, about a minute later in the other match, Morata scored for Spain against Japan, taking him to 3 goals from 4 shots on target in this tournament, as well as level for the tournament's Golden Boot race. Wild and economical Morata. This tournament has everything. I'm having a blast watching this tournament, guys. Spain were really in control for most of the match, for the entirety of that first half, in fact. But in the second half, well, as I said earlier about things getting turned on their head, Japan played a massive role in that, scoring not 1, but 2 goals in the first 6 or 7 minutes of the second half. First, there was Ritsu Doan, who slapped one toward Unai Simon that, let's be honest, the keeper should be saving that. Again, Adrian bullying keepers. The second, a ball that was thought to be out was ruled as in as it was put across the goal, and the chipped cross went over Simon to Tanaka to Chapin. Lengthy review of all the angles were pulled up. None on my feed, of course, but the entirety of the ball has to be out. There must have been a millimeter of ball still on the line or something. A 2022 VAR offside call amount, you know? As Spain were pushing to get an equalizer, Japan were finding joy in slicing through their back line. They were close with a few balls and getting in behind, with Spain forcing some saves out of Gonda and goal around the 90th minute mark. Japan knew that if they conceded, Germany would take their place in the round of 16, but they didn't. Japan held on for a 2-1 victory over Spain, the same scoreline they beat Germany by, to eliminate Germany and not only advance, but advance in first place in Group E, meaning Japan will go on to face Croatia in the round of 16, while Morocco will take on Spain, neighbors, but from separate continents. Germany, for the second tournament in a row, have failed to make it out of the group stage. Embarrassing for a football nation of their stature. The country with 4 stars, just 1 fewer than Brazil. Wow. Making like Italy, except at least, Germany are making the tournament, right? So guys, we are 1 day away from knowing the entirety of the World Cup knockout phase bracket. 1 day. Groups G and H to sort out tomorrow, and then the round of 16 begins on Saturday. So thanks for watching, everyone. Drop a like if you appreciate the content, subscribe if you're new, and we shall see you tomorrow. Take care.